Dion, I'm not sure if you know this, but is Dame Lillard from Sac or is he from the Bay? Like, is it just from the Bay Area?
Dame Lillard's from Oakland.
Oakland? Okay, do you rock with Oakland?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll just make sure I ain't want to cross no lines.
Did you actually not know he's from Oakland?
No, I thought he was just from the Bay Area.
Oh no, he says it like once in an interview. He makes sure to let people know like I'm from here.
Okay, that's on me. But a reason I bring that up is because Dame Lillard does this Formula Zero camp every single summer, right? Where it's kind of like more of a underdog, underrated recruit type camp, basically, where he invites some of the, some top players, don't get me wrong, but also it's like some underrated guys. And one of those guys is Purdue commit Luke Ertel, who it feels weird to even call him underrated at this point. He's a top 50 recruit now, but back when he first committed to Purdue or was offered from Purdue, he didn't even have a basketball profile. All he had was a football profile. Now he's reached the point where he's a top 50 recruit in the country. And ESPN analyst Fran Fraschilla had something to say about this. He said, an embarrassment of riches for Purdue to have 4 years of Braden Smith followed by 4 years of Luke Ertl. Couple things to take from that. One, obviously very much impressed with Luke Ertl at this camp, as Luke Ertl has been impressive all summer. But to have 4 years of Braden Smith followed by 4 years of Luke Ertl, that means that he's going to play 4 years at Purdue and everything that comes along with that. Now, that's not a crazy thing to say, given like when you look at Luke Ertl, like he's not an NBA. Like you don't look at him like, oh, that's an NBA guy. Maybe he can get to that point in 4 years, but he has a long ways to go. Also, a lot being put on his plate right now that I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to be the next Braden Smith, which I'll talk about a little bit more once we get later in this video. But Dion, I'll throw it to you first for one, is Fran being accurate, which I think he is, and two, what do you take from kind of this statement that they are going to be able to kind of hand the reins to Luke Ertl?
Yeah, I mean he's six. He's a 6'2" point guard. Top almost top 50 guy,
Just
right?
like you're 6'2", right?
Yeah. Well, listen, Medlock isn't. So
This ain't about him.
6'2" point guard who's like nearly top 50. I mean, I don't think he's an NBA guy, but I think if you're a top 50 recruit and you have the size, right? Like it's not out of the realm of possibility. So yeah, I mean he's definitely a 4 year guy. I don't think Fran's that far off. It is not necessarily an embarrassment of riches though. Like Braden Smith, if you got what was expected of Braden Smith, this comment doesn't necessarily happen, right? Like if you get what's expected from Luke Ertl, it's not Braden Smith by any means, and it's not really necessarily remotely close to what Braden Smith has brought. We're talking about maybe the greatest point guard in college basketball history and the 53rd best recruit in the country. So, I mean, I don't know if I would call it necessarily embarrassment of riches, but it is very clear that Paint has his next point guard. Like he has his point guard of the future. I think he brings somebody in from the portal because I'm not of the belief that Omer's going to be there next year. I believe Omer's a one and done. I know everybody's like, well, Braden's going to give it to Omer, then Omer gives it to Luke. No, 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 no. Omer's leaving very quickly. So I believe he brings somebody in for a year. I don't think Luke's going to be like a freshman playing right away. Um, but once Ertl does get to play, like I think he's going to be a 4 year point guard for Purdue.
Yeah, let's see. That's the thing, though. It's like if it, the embarrassment of riches part, I get it because like you get from Braden Smith and you have another good point. The embarrassment of riches though doesn't really come from it's Luke Ertl, I guess, is a part of that. But to your point, like I think they're gonna have Omer for more than 1 year, which I think will be an embarrassment. Like, yeah, just because I think that I don't know if I don't know if the role he'll be in this year will be like conducive to him being a one and done. But you never really know. Also, it's looking like a weaker draft class too. I actually no. Is it looking like a weaker draft? No, it's gonna be a good draft class, right?
Yeah, this is a bit last
Wait,
year's.
what about the one after this one? Is that supposed to be
That's
because the class of 2026 is apparently like a little bit weaker, so that like the 2027 draft is what it is?
if he were to stay 2 years, he would be in a weaker draft class for sure.
Right. So which I think would have him drafted higher. But to me, this is the thing. One, I don't think it's fair to Luke Ertl to be like, oh, go be the next Braden Smith. Like, I get it, but also like they're just not the same player. Like, I don't think Luke Ertl is even half the passer that Braden Smith is. And I think he has a long way to go. to even get anywhere near. Like Braden Smith, the minute he stepped on Purdue's floor, was their guy, their point guard, like it's completely different situations they're going into, and I just think it's somewhat unfair to Luke Ertl to just kind of dawn upon him that he has to be the next Braden Smith. Like obviously you want to shoot for that, but I think they're different players.
I do think that's a great point. And that's the interesting element of this is we're proclaiming that he's going to have the same impact on Purdue that Braden Smith had. And Braden Smith, like I said, is like maybe the greatest point guard to ever play college basketball. It's just not going to happen. Respectfully to Ertl, like he could have a phenomenal college basketball career and it not be what Braden Smith did.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That could be really good. That could lead to success. It's I brought it up earlier with G. It's I just don't want it to get to the point where people are doing like it's I think the term that Greg used that kind of made a little bit of sense to me is like it gets to a point where he gets rated so high that now he becomes somewhat overrated to what he is,
Mhm.
right? And obviously like that has some negative connotation to it, but it's just like he's been the underdog this whole time, doubted this whole time. Braden Smith barely made it to Purdue. He was like a 3-star guy. Like Luke Ertl is damn near pushing up towards 5-star territory. He's getting so high in the class. Like it's just I don't want to get to a point where it's just so much on his plate that it's just like and really not setting the kid up for success. But this is to wrap it up. Fran is right though. Like they do like Purdue is at a point where it's not just Luke Ertl though. It's everything. Like Purdue's on all these lists for players. Like
Yeah.
Paint is on his war chest shit now, as they like to state it. Like there is somewhat of an embarrassment of riches for Purdue moving forward, which should be good news and should make Purdue fans pretty happy.
Yeah, it's money bag paint, man. Like whether you're talking about Ertl or Dylan Betts potentially in a couple of years, like Paint is heavily involved in recruiting now, and he's heavily involved on like really, really high level guys too. He's not going to get like the 3-star and turn him into Braden Smith. He's going to get some dudes that are already ready to rock. And I think that's the biggest difference. It is an embarrassment of riches from a roster standpoint, even just being able to bring in Oscar Clough, who the closer we get to the season, by the way, the more I'm not sure like he plays over Daniel Jacobson. You know what I mean? And then to bring in an Omer who a lot of people believe won't start right away because of CJ Cox. I don't necessarily agree with that, but like that's what the belief is. And then he might come back for his sophomore year, like based upon that. You know what I mean? Like I could see both those things being true. That in a roster standpoint is an embarrassment of riches for sure.
Also, you come on now, you know Paint wants to start his guy. Like he wants to start the guy that's been there, earned it. Like you know what I'm saying, like died in Mackey.
Respectfully though, I know Payne watched that FIBA World Cup.
That Feeble is nice.
Yeah,
Feeble.
I know he was watching that dog. I love Braden Smith, love Braden Smith. There's no one on Purdue's roster like Omer. Nobody.
Yeah, that's very true. And I get, you know what? It'll, like I said, it's interesting to see how it'll play out. It makes sense why Fran Fraschilla said this. Um, Now, hopefully those riches pan out because I am the defending Big Ten champion by 3 games, by the way. 3 of them things. And beat y'all.
I mean, they won the when did they won the Big Ten the year before, right?
Okay, we doing revisionist history here?
And the year before that?
Carlos Medlock is better than Luke Ertl. We'll catch y'all in the next video, all right?